Welcome, welcome. All right. Well, happy Thursday, February 17th, 2022. My name is Pamela Pacheco, and I have the absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host on this beautiful morning. And if you're just joining us and you have no idea what the Breakfast Club call entails, right? This is a community that we love to start our morning off with not only positivity, but information that is absolutely crucial, not only to your business, but to your life, right? To your mindset. Because one thing that I do know, garbage in is garbage out, and greatness in is greatness out. So we always do our best, right? To make sure we are serving nothing but inspiration, information, right? But absolute positivity that we know is going to set the tone for your day. I remember when I first started entrepreneurship and I looked forward to these type of calls, right? I look forward to just being in this space that felt safe, right? And being in a safe space and being in an environment where I knew we were empowering each other, where I knew that we were encouraging each other, where I knew that we were helping each other grow. Because here's the reality. If you're going through life and you're not growing, you're just dying, right? And if we were meant not to grow, if we were meant to stay in one place, right? God wouldn't have created the beaches of the world, but he would have created you and I to be a tree, right? To just be stuck in one spot, have only a cap of growth that we can grow to. So life is about growing. So welcome to the call. So I'm excited. So today we're going to talk about prospecting. We're going to talk about, there's a few different things that we all need to be successful, whether you are embarking upon this network marketing journey, whether you are in our part of our business community, whether you are in any aspect of a business that requires for you to build a list, right? Whether it requires you to have people to show. And a lot of times we talk to people all the time. Yes, I got my note and paper ready too, Delicia, thank you. A lot of times we talk to people and they just got started in our business, and a lot of times they just got started or they've been in for quite some time and they kind of feel stuck. First of all, I always, we'd love to talk about mindset. Your mindset is where your mind sits, right? So if you are thinking already that you don't have people to show, guess what? You're not going to have people to show, because whatever the mind believes and conceives, it will achieve. However, here's what I've noticed, right? Sometimes it's not that we necessarily don't have people to show, right? Sometimes it's just that we're not comfortable with reaching out to some people. Sometimes we don't have enough credibility as we would love to expand our business, right? To expand our list. So how do you build that new list? How is it that you're like, well, if I'm out and about and I want to have a conversation, like, how does that go about? And I tell people all the time, cold market is slow market. Why? And this is a disclosure, right? I know somebody's like excited. Yeah, she's talking about prospecting, about cold market prospecting. Understand, cold market is slow market, right? And fast is fun and slow sucks. Sorry, but it's real. But the reality is, because you don't have relationships built with these people. However, I am a strong believer that if you have the right skill sets, if you have the right mindset, if you apply these skill sets when needed at the time, at that moment in time, you can make that cold prospect turned into a warm prospect, right? You can instantly build rapport. And I'll tell you, you only have one time to get it right with cold market. You have one time. And I tell you this because a lot of us are like, oh, well, if I ruin it, who cares? No, you ruin it. If you look bad, we all look bad. So this is why we love to share best practices. And if you're in our business, you understand that if you're someone that's like, listen, I know that we have to invite. I know that we have to close. I know that we have to present. I know that we have to show people. I know that we have to duplicate. I know that we have to train. But I'm stuck in prospecting. Has anybody ever felt like that? Anybody ever just been overwhelmed? Anybody just ever been out and about and you're having a casual conversation, because this is what we do. We are professional network marketers, right? Make a decision that this is your career, right? And sometimes you're in a conversation and you just feel stuck, right? And I'm just going to share with you guys some best practices that have worked for me over the years. And in fact, I've been applying them as I'm on vacation, right? Whether I'm in a resort like I am right now, or I'm out and about at the gym. But when I'm out and about, I am always prospecting. I'm the type of person that it's like every day, my list has to grow by at least one person, right? And if you really want to take it to a step further, make your list grow by at least 2 people a day. And if you add more, the more people you add every single day, right? Think about if all you did is add one person a day. That's 365 or 66, depending on what type of year you're in, that you're adding brand new to your list. And how many of us know that what we have our hands on here with Club Secret, it is absolute of the essence that we are showing as many people as possible. Can we all agree on that? Absolutely. So when you're talking about prospecting, right? When you are meeting somebody, it's called forming, right? And you're like, well, what does the F stand for in forming? So when I'm talking to somebody and I'm forming them, right? Well, the F is I want to know, what do you like? What's your family like, right? Where are you from? And maybe sometimes it's like not easy to ask somebody right off the rip. So, hey, are you married? You got kids? Like, where you from? Because it's kind of a little weird, right? But if you're just meeting somebody, you're like, oh, awesome. Well, nice to meet you. Where are you from? You know, tell me a little bit about yourself. And they're going to tell you, like, I just met this lady. And this is a little bit of how the conversation went, right? And she was just like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And I was like, thank you. So are you. And we've like seen each other at the resorts a few times, right? And we're hopping on like the train transportation that's taking us from the resort to another resort on property. And we're just talking. I was like, thank you. Well, hint, compliment somebody, right? If you want to break the ice, compliment somebody, right? She beat me to it. But the reality is that the day before I had complimented her, but it just was breaking the ice. You drip on people little by little, right? Sometimes when you meet somebody and you know you're going to see them again, you don't necessarily want to go straight for the kill because you don't want to make it weird, right? You just don't. But that can ruin it. So here's how that conversation went. So as soon as she was just like, oh my God, you're so weird. I was like, sorry, thank you so much, right? And we're talking and she's like, well, where are you? And I said, where are you from? She's like, well, I'm from Canada. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so awesome. Well, what do you do? See, so the F is where are you from? Or tell me about your family. And the O is what do you do for a living? What's your occupation? Right? So I'm like, so what do you do? And she just starts talking, right? She's like, well, I was in banking and I'm so miserable. And I was just like shaking my head like, girl, I feel you. Tell me more. Why are you so miserable? So when somebody's telling you about themselves, here's what people do that drives me insane. They like rush people through a conversation. And 9 out of 10 times, here's the reality. People want to be heard. And a lot of times they just don't have somebody to talk to, but their friends that are tired of hearing the same exact thing. So if you're meeting them for the first time, have a genuine interest, because I genuinely wanted to know where she was from, what she did for a living, why was she miserable? Because here's the reality. The more this person talks, the more information this person gives to us, gives to you, right? The more that you have to use as leverage to close them. The more information that you know, the better you can serve them with what you have your hands on. Because the reality is, right, we have our hands, and a lot of times we're like, well, I don't know if I should lead with personal care. I don't know if I should lead with health and nutrition. I don't know if I should lead with travel. I don't know if I should lead with opportunity. I don't know if I should lead with this or lead with that. Well, the reality is that there's nothing wrong to lead with, right? But I tell people all the time, if you listen to the person that you're talking to, you'll know exactly what it is that you want to lead with, right? Diana says, I lead with lifestyle. Awesome. I, for one, I always lead with vision. Why? Because I always want to build more leaders. See, I know, and again, there's nothing against, if all you want to do is get customers, lead with products. If all you want to do is get agents, lead with opportunity. But if you want to get leaders into your business, you're going to lead with vision, right? And I digress. So let's go back to what we were talking about. But vision is important. So when she's telling me, I'm in banking, and I was just like, girl, I feel you. I was in banking 2 years ago, almost a decade in finance. But tell me, why are you so miserable? She's like, oh my God, the hours are crazy, right? These hours are insane. And to be honest with you, man, it's just the people sometimes. And I was just like shaking my head like this the whole time. Yes. Tell me more. What else? What else? Why? Because the more information that I know, the best I'm able to serve. And here's the reality. Whenever I do meet somebody, if they are not saying the right things, I don't immediately go for the kill. I don't immediately let them know, well, hey, listen, I'm working on something. It may or may not be for you, but we can take it from there. I would just get their contact information and continue to build our rapport. But here's what happened in this conversation that just made it a little different, right? So as she's telling me, I'm in banking and I'm miserable. I hate the hours. The people suck, right? My management is terrible. I'm actually going through a divorce. This is my first vacation without my husband. Like, we're just having it went from having corporate talk to girl talk and a little bit of everything. And ladies, that's how we do from time to time, right? Especially if we feel comfortable talking to another woman, we open up like when Pandora's box, right? It is on and popping. So we're talking the entire time, and she's just sharing with me. She's like, man, I just feel so comfortable talking to you. And I was just like, man, it's like we've known each other for some time. And I was like, yeah, so amazing. And as we're getting off of the tram, I'm literally just walking with her and talking some more with her. And I'm just like, man, so what do you like to do for fun? She's like, well, I love to travel. But, living in Canada, it has been so crazy with the borders. And I was just like, immediately I'm identifying, right? Immediately I'm like, oh, I have friends in Canada, right? Aulu and Roslyn, light bulb. I'm like, okay, I have somebody I can plug her into. So again, keep that at the back of your mind. But also it's like, okay, you want to make them feel like they're not necessarily your oddball, right? Like you're relating to what it is that they're saying. In reality, I was relating because I remember being at the bank and being miserable. I remember walking into work at sometimes 6 a.m. in the morning and just looking at people, like people watching, like who's going to get on my nerves today, right? My mindset was not the same back then that it is today. But I remember just sitting in my office and watching people walk by that their energy was so trash, right? Their energy was not the nicest, that it would literally kill the fake plants. And you're like, how can it kill the fake plants? They're already dead. Yes, that's how horrible their energy was. Can you relate, right? Being around some people that they're just Debbie Downers, that they're just completely negative Nancy's, right? No disrespect to Nancy or Debbie's on here. But that was the reality of the environment that I was working in. And that was one of the reasons that when I decided to leave the workforce, I did it without thinking twice, because I was so tired of the environment. It felt like it was just sucking the life out of me. Like it was completely draining me. So going back to what we were talking about. So as I'm asking her, like, man, so what do you like to do for fun? And she's telling me, she's like, I love to travel. I love to have fun. She's like, but it's been crazy. And especially going through a divorce and now, and this is what she said that was key, right? Because as I'm asking questions, right, she's responding. She's like, but I am looking for something, because Lord knows when I get back home, I have to find something more to do. I have to look for something. And she's like, and I don't necessarily want to do banking. I kind of want to step out and try something new. Light bulb, right? So as we're talking, I said, listen, I don't usually do this, but I am in charge of expansion of $1 billion opportunity. And I can't make you any promises, but you look really amazing. And I would love to just talk more with you and share the information with you. If it's for you, awesome. If not, that's okay too. And here's why I did that, right? And anybody else would have just been like, oh, go straight for the kill, right? And make sure that you're honing in on this opportunity and just telling her. However, I understood that I immediately, even though, right, because this is just our human nature, even though we tell somebody, I'm looking for opportunity, I need something different, I need an extra way of making money, I don't want to go back into my field. Here's what humans do, right? Here is what is in our natural behavior. We automatically, when somebody is offering us what it is that we say we want, we automatically are like, is it too good to be true? We take back really, really quick, right? Because again, we're not necessarily used to somebody being a blessing to us, right? But so immediately, as nice as the conversation was going, I added a takeaway so that she knew I'm not thirsty, right? And if you're like, what is that, Pam? It means that I am not necessarily pressed, right, to get her information, because one thing that I do know, I am always meeting new people. I am a magnet to leaders. I am a magnet to successful people. Leaders seek me every single day, right? So what that means is when I'm out and about and I am meeting people, I have an aura is that you need me. And it's not to sound any type of way, but the reality is that I know what we have our hands on, and I know that I'm a blessing to anybody that I meet, right? Because that's just who I am, because of whose I am. Now, so when we're talking and she's just like, oh my God, I would love that. And she's like, can you tell me a little bit more? I was just like, listen, so this company is based out of Israel. And here's what I will tell you. Make sure that you know the Ben Shabbat story, right? Or make sure that you know your story. And a lot of times we call this elevator pitch, right? Which is 15 seconds. Now, what did I tell her? Really, really quick in 15 seconds. Listen, I'm in charge of expansion for $1 billion opportunity, for $1 billion personal care line, right? They're originally from Israel, grew in Texas to billions of dollars, now have expanded into tourism. And I'm actually one of the faces of the expansion. And I would love to connect with you. And immediately she was just like, oh my goodness, absolutely. I would love it. And I said, and again, as she's getting so excited, I just didn't want her to feel still that I needed her, right? Because I do want her to join our team for sure, but I don't need her. You understand? And that is the difference when a lot of times we're prospecting in cold market, that we meet somebody and we get their information and then we're like, oh my God. And it's like, you gotta relax, right? Another cool, calm, and collected, right? So I'm like, awesome. But listen, again, I can't make you any promises, but I really love your energy. And again, it may be for you, it may not be for you, but I'm a strong believer in blessing it forward, because even if I show you something that's amazing and it's not for you, it can be for somebody else, right? It can be for somebody else. You know, she's like, I love that. I'm all about helping people. So she's saying all of the right things, right? So immediately I got her social media information and I got her WhatsApp, because you're in a foreign country, right? We use WhatsApp a lot. So I was like, hey, what's your WhatsApp info? Let me get that. So we connected and we have a Zoom set up. Now, when you're talking to anybody that you're meeting, you always want to form them. Again, ask about where they're from, ask about what their family is from, right? Their occupation, see what they do for a living. And there's different questions that you can ask that will trigger that response in those areas. So if, tell me a little bit about you. So where are you from, or what brings you here, right? What brings you here? Well, besides the beaches, we're on a resort, right? Well, what do you do for living? What do you do for fun? What do you like most about what you do? What do you like least about what you do? Because not every prospect that you meet is going to tell you, man, I hate my job. And let me tell you why I hate it. Because I hate it because of this, that. No, sometimes you have to pry. Sometimes you have to ask more questions, right? So when you are meeting people, always have that confidence that it's like, okay, they need me, I don't need them, right? And it's not being necessarily cocky, because there's a thin line between being cocky and being confident, right? But you have to be confident, because being confident is what rules the world, right? That is just the reality of the world we live in, with humility, right? With humility, be kind, because you never know who you're going to meet that is going to be praying for an opportunity. And the reality is that it's like, is it uncomfortable? Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's still uncomfortable for me. And I've been in this industry for over a decade. But I'll tell you, the more you do it, the better you will be. And if you feel like, oh my gosh, I messed that up. Okay, you messed it up. It's okay, right? Do better next time. Don't be so hard on yourself. But the reality is that we always have to continuously building our list. I will never, ever, ever knock on wood, right? Run out of people to show. Why? It's because I'm always putting myself in places that I am going to meet people. So if you're that person that's like, well, Pam, I'm not on vacation like you are. So I may not, it's not easy for me to just run into people. So how do I do that? How do I get uncomfortable? I'll give you an idea, right? Networking, right? Attend networking events, build your circle of influences. I live in Tampa, Florida now. No secret, I'm not from Tampa, right? The secret is out. I'm not from Tampa. I was raised in South Florida. I'm from the Dominican Republic. I was born here, moved to New York when I was very young. So a lot of the majority of my people, I went to college in Miami, are in South Florida, right? However, I go to networking events. The other day I attended a real estate event. Am I in real estate? No. But do I want them on my team? Yes. Do you want them on your team? Yes. Right? So get yourself in places where you're going to meet people, whether it's a networking event and you're like, well, Pam, I don't know necessarily how I can just attend random networking events. There's a lot of apps that help you with that. I'm going to give you guys a few, right? Meetup is one, right? Eventbrite. There are so many things on Eventbrite that you can find, right? Another thing that I suggest, if you're somebody that's like, listen, I want to increase my communication skills, I want to become a better speaker. I did Toastmasters when I was in college, and I strongly suggest for anybody and everybody to do Toastmasters. You'll meet people that take pride in speaking, that take pride in their communication, and ultimately, those are the kind of people that you want on your team. Right? You want go-getters, you want movers and shakers. So put yourself in the environment that is conducive to where it is that you want to go and what it is that you want out of life. So attend networking events, right? Go on Facebook. They have so many groups on Facebook. Nikki says I'm in Toastmasters right now. That's awesome. I know Eslin is as well. Shout out to Eslin. Right? So there's so many Facebook groups that you can join. If you literally just put in, travel groups or in my city, and you type in your city, there's a lot of different groups that you can join and that you can just utilize to meet people, that you can utilize to prospect. And again, you don't want to spam anybody, right? But there's a lot of different ways that you can continuously put yourself in those type of environments where it's easy for you to meet people. Am I making any sense to anybody on here today, right? Am I adding value? Let me know in the chats if I am. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So again, network, right? Put yourself in an environment that you can meet people. Go network. You're not going to meet people stuck in your car. You're not going to meet people just in your house. Like I told one of my best friends this the other day, right? This is complete sidebar. She's like, I need a boyfriend. I was like, do you think you're going to meet him in your house? No, he's not just going to crawl in your window, right? Get out the house, right? So guess what? You can't. And again, I love Zooms. We communicate on Zoom, but I can't wait till we're able to do this Breakfast Club live, right? That we can have a live meeting, because nothing compares. High tech does not compare to high touch. That is just the reality. But put yourself in the environments that are conducive for you to win. So get out the house, right? Get out of your comfort zone. Is it uncomfortable for you to talk to people, for you to meet people? Yes. Yes, it is. But the more you do it, the better you'll be at it. Life truly begins at the end of our comfort zone. Like everything we want out of life. And that's why I had to correct myself. Not only we, right? Everything we want out of life, guess where it's at? Outside of our comfort zone. You want better health? It's outside of our comfort zone. You want better wealth? It's outside of our comfort zone. You want better people? It's outside of our comfort zone. You want better opportunity? It's outside of our comfort zone. See, if opportunity was convenient, it would be called conventuity, not opportunity, right? But opportunity is for the opportunist, and you have to seize this opportunity within the lifetime of the opportunity. So granted, I'm in this, because of where I'm at, I am showing people, right? I am building my list. However, if you're like, okay, well, I can't necessarily attend a networking group as much as I like to because, I have kids. Okay, well, what are your kids' interests? Do you have your kids in little league sports? You should be in the PTA. What? Y'all can't, I'm a parent. Wait a minute. Y'all gonna see. Pamela's going to be in every PTA meeting, right? When my niece and nephew were living with me and my god babies were living with me, I was in every PTA. I was the volunteer for every field trip. I was in every activity you could think of, because the reality is that you are your kids' heroes. So let's act like that every single day, because guess what? Your kids need you to win big time too. Don't let your why be your why not, right? I used to tell people that all the time, is like, whatever it is that you think is holding you back, that's in fact the one thing that can push you forward. Like, I've seen people make this work that have 7 kids, that have 8 children, that all 8 children are different ages apart, that have events, that have activities, that are in every club you can think of, that play every sport that you can dream of. Why? Because they made a decision to do it. They made a decision to get uncomfortable. So it's a season of getting uncomfortable so that you can seize this opportunity within the lifetime of the opportunity. Because I kid you not, it's like putting yourself in that environment that is conducive to your success means everything. Like, your kids want to see you win. Your kids want to see you walk stage. Like, I love when I saw Delicia's son, right? Like, see her walk stage with her. Like, that was priceless. Like, what does that look like to you? What does being your kid's hero look like to you? What does making somebody else proud look like for you? But start by making yourself proud each and every single day, because it is absolutely of the essence for us to not only build a team, but for us to build our dreams, for us to show people that it's possible, because there's so many people that are counting on us to win. There's so many people that are counting on us to get it done. A lot of times, right, I get on 3-way calls with people all the time. I get on 3-way calls with people, and I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but bear with me. I'll go back, going down the rabbit hole here a little bit. But a lot of times I'll get on calls with people, and it's a 3-way call with them. And, later on, they connect me to the person that they had me show on social media. And I love it, right? Because, people, I highly recommend always use 3-ways, right? For close and conversation. And a lot of times people will hit me up later and just be like, listen, like, I see you doing it, but I don't see my friend doing it. So it was cool that, he put me in contact with you, but I know you're successful, but it's like, I want to see my friend win. And not necessarily to say that people are not going to join you, or people are not going to see the vision if they don't see you win, because a lot of people, they don't even see themselves win. They can't see themselves winning, so they can't join a winning team. But it's absolutely of the essence for you to go out and do what it is that you said you are going to do. So if it's you getting uncomfortable, and if you, like, I've seen so many people reach so many heights with people that they did not know. And it's because they networked. It's because they got uncomfortable. It's because they would go and sit at a coffee shop. It's because they would go act in the supermarket like they're buying vegetables, just so that they can go talk to a lady that's buying some greens. And they would stay in that public supermarket all day long as they are getting prospects. So get creative. Whether you're going to the supermarket to meet people, whether you're going to the coffee shop, whether you're attending networking events on Eventbrite, on Meetup, on Facebook, there are so many different things that can help us win. But networking is absolutely of the essence, right? And it's simple ways that you use to start a conversation. Now, yes, Ms. Verda, talk to the cashier. Again, and it's super, if you're talking to somebody and they're telling you, listen, man, oh my goodness, like, I hate my job, and it's super quick. Listen, if I could, would you, right? If I could show you a way that you wouldn't be miserable at work, would you take a look at it? If I could show you a way you could spend more time with your kids, would you be open? If I could show you a way where time and money was no longer a factor for you to travel, would you be open? If I could, would you? Right? If I could, would you? That is a powerful statement when you're prospecting as well. Now, if you're meeting people and you're like, well, social media, like, there's so much stuff going on in social media, whether it's TikToks, right? Whether it's Instagram, whether it's Reels, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, use it all, right? Use it all. But here's what I will tell you. Let that be a tool let that be a resource, right? Let that be a tool in your tool belt, because everything works but I am not somebody that's going to sit here and tell you like nothing beats work like work, right? As much as you see me doing my reels and doing this and doing that, nothing beats work like work. Like I am meeting people, I'm hitting people up, I'm showing people, because I understand that it's like my energy. If you think it's something on social media, if you think it's something through a screen, it is nothing compared to you actually being in front of me. And I know that, right? So you should know that too of you, because you're one of one and you are only you. So be you, but be the best version of you. So if you are wanting to use social media, utilize it. It doesn't matter. Get uncomfortable. Did you think I was having this conversation the other day with our Built for the Crown, which is our accountability group that we get on Monday through Friday, right, for an hour, and we just build, and it's a community, right? Shout out to Josh and Kia Valentine that actually built that. But it's absolutely essential that I was telling them, I was just like, get uncomfortable, get uncomfortable, get uncomfortable. And I'll tell you this, it's never comfortable for me at all. As much as cute as it looks, like it's not comfortable, but I know that I have to get uncomfortable. I know that I have to show people more of me, because a lot of people only see one version of me. And it's just like, I'm the best version of me in every single moment, but I have fun too. People don't want another job, but they want your lifestyle. People don't necessarily want another business, but they want to live life better. People don't necessarily want to join our club because they don't know it yet, right? But they want to travel. They want to experience the world, but do they know what you have your hands on? Because if they don't know what you have your hands on, 9 out of 10 times, it's because you don't know what you have your hands on. So ask yourself that, what opportunity is it that I have my hands on in this very moment? Am I showcasing it to the world? Because whether you're building your list every single day by meeting people, or you're just on social media, engage. There's people that like your post. Go back, listen. I've helped get people started from their social media that have less than 100 followers, because it's never about the amount of followers that you have. It's about your follow through, right? It's never about the followers. It's about your follow through. Here's what I mean by that. Because this person went and liked their picture. They commented. I said, when's the last time you saw that person? Oh, I haven't seen that person since grade school. I said, awesome. Reach out right now. They're like, are you serious? I had a heart attack. Right? Reach out to them right now. So they reached out to this person and they were like, oh my God, thank you so much for liking my post. I know we haven't spoke to since grade school, but listen, I'm working on something and I would love to catch up with you. I would love to share with you what it is that I'm working on. And I know it's random, but I know that this is something that could be beneficial for you and your family. Worst case scenario, we get to catch up. Worst case scenario, we get to catch up. Again, the takeaway, excuse me, because yes, you're reaching out to somebody, but it's the follow through. It's the engagement, right? It's not just going crazy and posting stuff and doing all the crazy dances and doing all of this stuff. No, but it's following through on the engagement that you already are getting, following through on the people that constantly like your stuff, that constantly are commenting, that constantly are asking questions, that constantly are replying in your DMs, not the creeps. The creeps stay on general, okay, and blocked. So yeah, but reaching out to the people that you want to engage with, reaching out to the people, whether you know them or not. And there's a lot of times that you have brand new people that start following you. Have you reached out to those people and said, hey, welcome to my page. I would love to connect with you further. Hope I can add value to your life, and just drip on them. You don't necessarily have to go for the kill right away. But again, prospecting, it's being committed to constant, never ending improvement. It's saying that I am going to build this ongoing list because I made a decision that I'm going to get to the top of the mountaintop with or without the people that I know. With or without the people that I know. And in fact, I've built bigger organizations with people that I don't know, as well as the people that I know, with people that I knew from college, with people that I knew from grade school, with a friend of a friend of a friend, right? Because again, cold market is only slow market if you don't build rapport, if you don't build through fast. And when you are saying, and I'm going to go back real quick to the social media, right? Whether you're engaging on social media, right? Engage on all of your social media platforms. follow through on the people that are commenting, that are liking, that are reaching out to you, that are showing you love. And at the same time, be a person that shows love, right? Be a person, like, I'm very intentional. As crazy sometimes as you would see me on social media, I am very intentional as to what I am doing and the person that I am going for and the person that I am prospecting and that I'm going after, right? But I also understand the value that it is that I'm bringing into people's lives, right? So we have to know what we have our hands on, and you have to know who you are because of whose you are, right? So engage, and always know that in your social media, the more engagement you're going to, are you serving people, right? Are you serving our communities? Because we live in a world right now where there is so much uncertainty. Like, are you certain? Are you bringing certainty into the marketplace? Are you sharing the love into the marketplace? Are you sharing the light? Are you being a guiding light for so many people that are living lives of quiet desperation, right? So that is something also for you to consider. Make sure that you are serving your social media community. Make sure that you are teaching. Make sure that you're adding some type of light, that you're adding some type of value. It's not just, here's my product, buy my products, buy my products, buy my products. No, but like, people also want to connect with you. So be relatable at the same time. Don't be that person. Don't come off as that person that you're too much on this mighty horse that people can't touch you or reach out to you, because you want to be relatable. Does that make sense to anybody? So make sure you're engaging in your social media platforms. Make sure you're teaching, make sure you're serving, make sure that we're adding lights, that we're adding love, that we're adding value to people's lives on an everyday basis, because so many people need that, right? So another thing is, getting uncomfortable, and it's making sure that that not only we're getting uncomfortable, but that we're empowering and encouraging each other in a community. Like, whether you're plugging in to the Team Catch Up Sunday calls, whether you're plugging into the All Agents calls on Tuesday or Wednesdays, whether you're plugging in to the Ojada's call on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, whether you're plugging in to Josh's Breakfast Club call on Tuesday, whether you're plugging in to this community on Thursday, whether you're plugging in to Club Fit, whether you're plugging in to Club Secret, whether you're plugging in to whatever aspect of the community, understand that commitment always lasts longer in community. And you always hear me say that over and over and over again, because it's true. It is true. So who do you have holding you accountable, right? Like, find somebody on this call right now, right? That you're like, okay, well, I see this person that's on here. I don't know them, but they're commenting. Let me private message them. Like, find an accountability partner. A lot of times we want accountability partners of people that we know. Find an accountability partner that you don't know, right? I challenge you to do that. Why? Because not only are you going to get a new accountability partner, but you're going to apply these skill sets that we're talking about, right? You're going to find out a little bit about their family, about where they're from. You're going to find out a little bit about their occupation. You're going to find out a little bit of what they do for fun and what their recreation is. You're going to listen to what the message or money that they're talking about, right? But it's also going to help you build your skill sets, but it's also going to help you grow as a person, because you have to get uncomfortable. We always have to get uncomfortable to live the life that we want forever, right? So when you're networking, when you're building that new list, when you're reaching out to your accountability partner, we all need community. We all are not meant to do life alone. So it's like, yes, a lot of us, we don't need people to hold us accountable. Like, I don't necessarily need somebody to hold me accountable, but guess what? I love it because it puts an extra oomph on it, right? It puts an extra battery on my back, right? Like, even though I am on vacation, I am checking in with my trainer. Like, hey, did you work out today? Hey, how are you looking? How's your water intake? I'm like, yeah, my water intake is a little bit less than the Presidente's, but I'm working on it, right? But again, I'm just being transparent, but commitment always lasts longer in community, right? We need accountability. It is absolutely important. So again, if you're prospecting, and if you just got on this call, we've been talking about prospecting, and I see we have a lot of new people on here. But we've been talking about prospecting. We've been talking about networking. We've been talking about putting yourself in those environments that are conducive to your success, that are conducive to your well-being, to your growth, that are pretty much helping you get to where you want to go, right? That are helping you grow into the person that you want to go to. So if you don't know how to network and you're like, well, I just met somebody and I don't necessarily know how I'm talking to them, let's just ask them a quick question like, hey, where are you from? Hey, what do you do? Oh, and they tell you, what do you do? What do you like the least about it? What do you like the most about it? Awesome. Would you, right? If I could show you a way that you can change that, would you be open? If I could show you a way that you could travel more without having to spend more, would you be open? If I could show you a way that you can make more money, would you be open to sitting down? If I could, would you? So it's just so many different ways that you can form people. It is so many different ways that you can constantly build that list. There's really no excuses when you want to just show people, right? We live in a world where social media, there's so many people that are making millions of dollars on social media. So the reason, again, is not like I said from the beginning, it's like, it's not to say only utilize that, but it's to say that we live in a world where you not knowing people is an excuse, because you can put yourself in environments that you can meet people, go network, right? Whether you're going on meetups.com or you're downloading the meetup app, if you're going on Facebook group and just seeing what interests you, join some interest group. If you have kids and you're joining PTAs, parent teacher associations, or you're joining the little league clubs or mom clubs or dad clubs, right? Whatever it is, there's so many different ways that you can tap into a community of people, that you can just go build a community, that you can just go continuously build that list, engagement on your social media. Again, never about the number of followers, it's about the follow through. Follow through on the people that you're engaging with, that are engaging with you, that are liking, that are commenting, right? And I'll tell you, and if you're that person that's like, man, well, if I already met somebody and I just kind of just don't know what to say, and I'm like, there's so many different little elevator pitches, right? There that are just 15-second snippets that say what you do. And it's not to say that you have to utilize what I'm giving you, but add it to your tool belt, right? And if you have some elevator pitches that are working with you, please share them in the chat, because we definitely want to know what's working. This is why we have this call set up. So I'll meet somebody. I'm like, listen, I'm in charge of expansion for $1 billion personal care line that is in travel, health and nutrition, and personal care. I would love to share some information with you. It may be for you, it may not be for you, right? Are you open? It just depends how that conversation goes to exactly what it is that I'm going to say. I'm in charge of distribution for $1 billion company, right? A lot of people are like, oh, are you from the Dominican Republic? Yeah, I'm like, I'm in between Dominican Republic and Tampa, Florida, because I'm expanding my business, right? As immediately somebody meets me. Why do I say that? Because it's true, number one. And number two, because they're going to be like, what business? What do you do? I thought you never asked. All right. Immediately. This is what I do. And this is why I do it. But again, just having casual conversations with people. Another one that is really, really, really good. It's like, listen, I'm in charge of expansion for $1 billion opportunity that is very new here. However, I'm looking for pioneers. I'm looking for sharp people. If you're not one of them, do you know any? Right? And like immediately, if somebody is like, if I get some pushback, I'm like, listen, you look like you're amazing, but, and this may be not for you because, you know, not everybody is into business or whatnot, but do you know somebody? Do you know somebody that's sharp? Do you know somebody that wants more out of life? Who do you know? And a lot of times when I meet people, I'm like, and if I don't necessarily get a good vibe from them, I'm like, awesome, but let me ask you something. I'm actually not, this is not, I know that this may not be for you, especially because a lot of times, right, when I tell people, like, I used to do commercial banking and I run several businesses, and sometimes it's like, you know, people want to compete, right? And it's just like, I'm not about competition, I'm about collaboration. However, you know, I get it. It's just human nature sometimes. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Well, listen, I know you got it going on and you're super successful, but I'm actually in charge of expansion of $1 billion opportunity. Do you know anybody that's open to opportunity? Do you know anybody that's sharp? Do you know anybody that's a go-getter? Do you know anybody that wants more out of life? Do you know anybody that wants to travel? Do you know anybody that health is a priority? Oh my goodness. Can we use the news to our advantage, please? right? I'm excited to actually be in the Dominican Republic because they just lifted all of the mask mandates here. Praise God. But again, I still wear my mask, so please don't tell me I'm crazy. But anyhow, I just take very good care of myself, right? I have my Immunex, I have my greens, I work out, I drink a lot of water, mind my business. But anyhow, so I digress. What I was saying is a lot of times you meet somebody and it may not be for them, or they may come off as, well, you take it away from them in the invite. You're like, listen, I know you're super successful, but who do you know that's looking for opportunity? I'm expanding something huge. I'm looking for some sharp people to work with that love to have fun, that love to help people. Do you know anybody? Like, ask people. It doesn't necessarily need to be the person that you're talking to, right? But ask them, because build with, build through, build for, right? That person may lead you to somebody else. I always say every dud knows a stud, right? Every dud knows a stud or a stud at every, like, that's the reality. So it's never about who you're talking to right in the moment, is who can that person lead you to, right? So this has been your Breakfast Club call for Thursday, February 17, 2022. I hope I was able to add value to you guys. Blessings on blessings. The recording will be out in the next 24 to 48 hours. As always, thank you guys so much for getting on. Great day and God bless. And I read all of the comments. Thank you guys.